this episode helped you think differently, share it with someone on your team, and make sure you're following the show. Every conversation like this helps raise the standard for our industry. Until next time, go be the construction champion you're meant to be.
Welcome back, construction champions. Today, we're going to talk about gas and prices and all of this crazy stuff that's going on out there. I'm going to pre-references. This would not be political at all. This should be a wake-up call for how we think about things, because I've seen it's in every group that I'm in. It's in everything. Everybody's talking about the same thing, and it's actually starting to irritate me a little bit. And that is that we need to raise prices because gas prices are up. I understand that the cost has went up, but here's how I'm going to break some of this down, because this is how I think about all of this stuff. So if you're running a business that is growing, you're annually raising your prices, or semi-annually, whatever that process looks like for you. You're constantly doing that. And every time something happens, the cost of goods or gas is just a big one right now, because gas like doubled. And prices, everybody, I'm going to go out of business because of this. So that leads me to believe you probably weren't charging enough to begin with. But here's what really starts to irritate me about this is I never hear so gas prices were really high and then they dropped in half. And I did not hear one person say we were going to lower our prices because gas prices came down. Think about that. So that is where my irritation on this comes from, is we only look at this from one way. We're doing things so tightly that one little thing disrupts everything that is happening, that we need to then raise our prices, but we're never in a position where then, oh, well, it adjusted, so now we're going to lower our prices. That right there should tell you something about your business. To me, you should not be in a position where something spikes like gas, and then all of a sudden, so then let me go to this, because in COVID, there was a bunch of people that had a lot of issues with cost overrides and everything going up and backlog, and how exactly to handle all of that. And I know there's construction businesses that went out of business because of that. I'm not talking about stuff like that. I am talking about the ebb and flows of life in business. We can predict that gas is going to fluctuate. It's going to go up. It's going to go down. It's going to go up. It's going to go down. There will be fluctuation in that. But the first thing we can't do is always go screaming that I need to raise my prices. There's a root cause to the problem. And if I had to guess, it's because you're not pricing your jobs accurately. There's something wrong in that. How whatever mechanism you're using, or you don't even understand your pricing. I know, I said at the beginning, this irritates me. So I'm probably going to piss off some people with what I'm saying right now. You probably do not understand your cost. You're just pricing jobs to price jobs with whatever you think. There's no standardized pricing here. You're just probably got your pad and pen out. You're throwing this stuff together in any fluctuation. $2 a gallon in gas goes up and it's going to bankrupt your business. That should be a wake-up call. Not a reason that I need to raise my prices right now. And you know what? I would be fine if everybody was saying the same thing when gas went down. But like, this is fresh because gas recently got cut in half. And it was crickets. No one said we're lowering our prices because fuel is now cut in half. But now that it's back up, everybody's like, we need to raise our prices. That right there is what irritates me about it. Like, it goes one way and we think one way. It goes another way and we think the same. We don't think the same way. Because that's what's benefiting us, because we actually have no idea what our costs are or what this even looks like to be a profitable company. I'm gonna relay this to another thing. So we used to jackhammer basement floors open all the time. And I used to have these conversations with our foreman. They would get a floor that was like, 8 inches thick, super hard, a lot more jackhammering than usual. And they'd be like, we need to charge more money on this project. It's taken forever to jackhammer this out. And my response to that was always, so when you get a 1-inch floor, do you want me to charge less? Because you get a 1-inch floor and it comes out in 30 minutes. Or you have an 8-inch floor and it takes you the entire day, but then you have less digging. Look, it all evens out. But my thing is perception and our mindset around it. When it's a 1-inch floor, everything's rocking and rolling and everybody's having a great day. There's no thought process of, oh, this should be a cheaper project because of the 1-inch floor, which I disagree. It should not be, because we're not charging to jackhammer that floor up. That same thing as when it's an 8-inch floor. I don't believe that we should be charging more to jackhammer up the 8-inch floor. It all evens out if you have the correct pricing structure. If you have the flow in your pricing to understand that there is going to be ebb and flows. Every project's not going to be the same. There's going to be differentiators in it. Most of the time when you jackhammer an 8-inch floor and you pour it out, you don't have to do a bunch of digging. So literally, it cuts all of that down. We used to run this concrete out by buckets in the dirt, by buckets out of the basement. You know what? Sometimes I would probably not rather carry a bunch of buckets of dirt that a 1-inch floor produces. But it's perception and mindset around this. That was the same thought process as what's happening right now with gas. Is that this is a pain right now, currently, that affects me negatively. So I need somebody else to be affected negatively by this. But when something positive is happening and it affects you positively, there is no need or rush for that to positively affect somebody else. The root cause of all of this and all of these concerns around it is, like I said, we do not understand pricing as an industry. We have not figured this out yet. The great thing is next week, I am going to have an expert on here to start breaking down some of this. So you can start to understand how to effectively price your jobs. And then when the ebb and flows of life come into it, it's not going to absolutely crush you. You will have that wiggle room in your price. because you actually understand what it costs to run your business, what it costs to complete that job, and the profit that is involved in it. And if you're doing this appropriately, you're looking at your prices annually or sub-annually and adjusting them for whatever is happening. Let's get this right, because like this is what makes us look like we don't know what we're doing. When something happens and it becomes this thing where people make posts and there's hundreds of comments saying all the exact same thing and not one person asking the question, did you lower your prices when gas went down? This right here is a symptom of a bigger problem. It is not the gas prices that is causing the problem. It is a lack of understanding of what it actually takes to run the business financially. It's a lack of, or it's a willingness not to learn what our costs are so we can charge appropriately for the work. As an industry, we have a lack of confidence in what we're actually worth, and we undercharge. And the thing is when we are doing this, we think we're doing it in a way where we're going to make a little bit of money, but we're actually losing thousands of dollars. Every year, this happens. Businesses go out of business because they cannot get the single concept of pricing a job down. You have to be able to cover your overhead. You have to be able to cover the supplies. You have to be able to cover the material. You have to be able to cover the men on the job, the hours that are worked. And then you have to make money. You have to figure out a way to quote every job that creates an outcome where you're making money. Jobs are profitable. And then when something happens, it's not this complete 180 of, oh my goodness, we're not charging enough. And how about this? When was the last time you actually looked at your pricing and raised it when there wasn't a situation happening? Think about it. When something wasn't glaring in your face, when you were just like, hey, this is an annual price increase. We're going to do 3% this year, or semi-annual, we're doing 5%, whatever that looks like. When was the last time you were doing that when there wasn't things that were hammering down on you, stressing the system? Because that's how you prevent stress, is as the economy grows, as inflation happens, as all of this stuff happens, all prices increase with it. The market continues to go in that direction. But the only time we reevaluate what we're charging is when we think something is just absolutely going to crush us, instead of saying, oh, I should understand what this project's going to cost me to do so I can bid it appropriately, I can make money, and then I need to reevaluate this semi-annually to make sure I am still within the area I need to be in, that our pricing is competitive. And you don't have to be competitive. You can be the price leader, but you have to have a reason why somebody would do business with you if you are the price leader in your town. Stop taking situations and saying, this, I have to raise my prices, I have to do all of this. Be proactive, please. And then, beyond being proactive, understand what it takes to run your business profitably. Because there's a lot of guys out there doing work for less than what it costs them. They're doing the work for more than what it actually costs them to do it. Actually less. See, I'm so worked up, I can't even think right now about this. We are inherently losing money. Something happens, and then we bitch about it. instead of saying, oh, this is probably a symptom. There is probably something else wrong within my business that is causing this problem. So that's what I want everybody to do. For one, I want you to tune in next week when I have an expert here to talk about pricing and what that looks like. And for two, I want you to go and evaluate what your pricing actually looks like. And if it's not consistent, if you're just figuring it out on the fly, that is wrong. It's wrong for you as the business. It's wrong for your employees. It's wrong for your customers. And it's wrong for you as the business owner. Start to figure it out, understand it, and not have any of these issues. And until next time, be the champion you were meant to be.
This is construction. Champions. Built for leaders who want more than average in construction and in life. No fluff, no excuses. Just the truth, the standards, and the mindset it takes to win. To construction. Champions.